Alex had always loved the quiet of the outer planets. The station perched on the edge of the rocky world was small, simple, and far from anyone else. Most days were routine, checking sensors, recording data, repairing old machinery. But Alex liked it this way. Peace had its own charm. At least, he thought, until the night everything changed. It started with a faint blip on the motion sensors. At first, Alex ignored it. Wildlife often wandered near the station, harmless and curious. But this blip was different. It moved in ways no animal should move, deliberate, intelligent, and fast. Alex's heart skipped a beat as he grabbed his flashlight and stepped outside. The landscape was a harsh mix of jagged rocks and dust-colored soil. Wind swept in occasional gusts, carrying the faint smell of minerals and ozone. In the beam of his flashlight, Alex spotted her, an alien figure, small and fragile, yet moving with a quiet grace. She had large eyes that reflected the light, glowing softly like a distant star. Alex froze. He had read about alien encounters in books and reports, but he never thought he would see one himself. The being looked frightened, hurt, and human enough in her posture to make him hesitate. He could not leave her there. "Hey," he said softly, stepping closer. "I'm not going to hurt you." The alien tilted her head, studying him. She made a sound that was more like a whisper than a word. Alex took a cautious step forward. She didn't run. Instead, she limped slightly, as if injured. Her skin had a soft, silvery sheen, and her limbs were thin but strong. Something about her presence felt urgent. Alex knew he had to act fast. The weather on this planet could turn deadly within minutes, and he could not carry her in the open terrain alone. "Come on," he said, motioning toward the station. "You can hide there. You'll be safe." It took some coaxing, but she finally followed. Her movements were hesitant, but she trusted him enough to come inside. Once inside, Alex guided her to a small cot. She sank onto it, exhausted, eyes still wide and alert. Alex quickly assessed her injuries. She had bruises along her arms and legs and a deep cut on her shoulder. Using the med kit, he cleaned the wound and applied a patch. She winced but did not resist. The alien's trust surprised him. Most humans would panic in such a situation, but here was a creature, unknown, advanced, and alien, allowing him to help. "I don't know your name," Alex said, trying to break the silence. "Can you talk?" She shook her head slightly, making the same soft whispering sound again. Alex frowned. Communication would be a challenge. He grabbed a tablet and wrote, "Safe here. Don't be afraid." She read the words slowly, eyes scanning the screen. Then almost imperceptibly, she nodded. Alex felt a small victory. This was a start. Hours passed. The alien rested while Alex monitored the station, listening for any signs of danger. Outside, the wind howled, carrying a chill that seeped into the walls. He made her a warm drink, something sweet and nutrient-rich from the supplies. She took it, still quiet, and drank slowly. As the night deepened, Alex began to feel a strange connection forming. There was something about her presence that demanded attention, something that made him alert to every sound, every movement. It was not fear, it was awareness, a bond forming without words. Then it happened. She climbed onto the bed beside him, not aggressively, not dangerously, but carefully. Alex froze, unsure of what to do. She looked directly into his eyes, her large, glowing eyes reflecting a strange mix of fear, curiosity, and something else, something he could not name. She whispered again. This time the word was clearer, "Mine." Alex's mind raced. Did she mean the bed, the station, or something else entirely? He did not understand, but he sensed the meaning was not hostile. There was trust in her voice, a declaration that she felt safe with him. He nodded slowly, unsure what else to do. "Okay, safe," he said quietly. "You're safe here." She tilted her head, studying him as if judging whether he truly meant it. Then she relaxed slightly, curling up beside him. Her breathing slowed, and Alex realized she was exhausted. He watched over her, keeping his hand near hers but not touching, respecting her space while offering reassurance. Hours later, Alex finally allowed himself to rest. Sleep came in short bursts, punctuated by the need to check the sensors. Every so often he glanced at her. She had a strange grace even in sleep, and he felt an inexplicable duty to protect her. The night dragged on, each sound outside making him alert. The alien stirred once, whispering that same word, "Mine," as if reinforcing the bond he did not yet understand. Alex felt a strange sense of awe. Humanity had always been resilient, but here he was, facing a creature from the stars, and he felt both fear and a fierce determination to protect her. By dawn, the wind had calmed. Light crept into the station, painting the walls in soft orange. Alex made breakfast, hoping she would eat, but she only watched him with wide eyes. She was cautious, still uncertain, but she stayed close. Alex knew one thing: this encounter would change everything. The universe was vast and humanity was small, but moments like this reminded him of what humans could do. They could show compassion, courage, and intelligence even when faced with the unknown. As she sat quietly beside him, whispering once more, "Mine," Alex made a silent promise. He would protect her. He would understand her. He would help her survive no matter the cost. And in that moment, a bond formed. One that neither of them could yet fully understand, but one that would shape the future in ways Alex could not imagine. The quiet of the station was gone. A new presence filled it, a fragile, powerful life relying on him, trusting him, and Alex knew the adventure had only just begun. Outside, distant storms rumbled across the rocky plains, but inside, a human and an alien faced the future together, their fates intertwined in a way neither could predict. The word "mine" hung in the air, a symbol of trust, choice, and the unspoken bond that would carry them through the challenges ahead. And Alex, for the first time in many lonely nights on this distant planet, felt hope, not just for himself but for humanity and the strange, glowing creature who had chosen him. The morning light filled the research station, casting long shadows across the walls. Alex moved quietly, careful not to startle the alien who still rested on the cot. She had not eaten much, but she was awake now, her large, glowing eyes following his every move. Alex sensed she was studying him just as much as he was studying her. He set out a tray of breakfast, a mix of protein paste and fruits grown in the station's small hydroponic system. She sniffed the tray, touched a piece of the soft fruit, and then slowly took a bite. Alex smiled. Communication would be slow, but it was happening. "Small steps. I'm Alex," he said, holding up the tablet again. He typed her name with a question mark. "Your name?" She looked at the tablet, then back at him. Her eyes widened, and she pressed a finger to her chest, speaking that soft whisper again. This time it sounded more like a single word. "Lyra. Lyra," Alex repeated carefully. "Okay, Lyra," he smiled gently. The sound of her name made the bond feel more real, more personal. The day passed slowly. Alex worked on repairing some of the station's solar panels while keeping a careful eye on Lyra. She moved with a quiet curiosity, touching the instruments and screens, trying to understand them. Every so often she would glance at him, almost as if asking silently, "Do I belong here?" And each time Alex would nod or smile reassuringly. By evening, Alex knew that trust was growing. Lyra no longer flinched when he approached her. She even allowed him to place a warm blanket over her shoulders when the station's temperature dropped. Yet something about her was still mysterious. Alex could sense intelligence far beyond what he had expected from any being he had encountered. Then, the first threat arrived. The station's sensors blared a warning. Fast-moving objects approaching from the horizon. Alex's heart raced. He grabbed his communicator and checked the external cameras. A small squad of alien ships was heading directly for the station. They moved with precision and intent. Alex didn't recognize the ships. They were not from any of the known colonies or trade routes. "Lyra," he said, pointing at the screens. She stepped closer and her eyes widened as she saw the ships. Then she whispered that word again. "Mine." Alex realized she meant him, and the station. She trusted him to protect her, and in that moment he knew he would not let these intruders harm her. He quickly activated the station's defense protocols. Shields hummed to life, barriers forming around the small base. Lyra watched, fascinated, as Alex typed commands and flipped switches. She began to mimic his actions, touching the screens and panels, learning quickly. Her fingers moved with astonishing speed, faster than his own, and she seemed to instinctively understand the systems. The alien ships landed not far from the station. Alex peered through the viewport, seeing their sleek, dark designs and knowing the occupants were searching for something, or someone. He exchanged a glance with Lyra. She pointed to herself, then at the intruders. Alex nodded, understanding immediately. She was the target. For hours they prepared. Alex modified old turrets and traps, using scraps and circuits to make improvised defenses. Lyra assisted, using her strange knowledge to enhance his designs. The trust between them deepened. She moved when he moved, anticipating his actions, and he learned to follow her instinctive guidance. It was a partnership forming under pressure. That night when the intruders arrived, Alex and Lyra were ready. The aliens moved cautiously, expecting little resistance. But Alex's clever trap slowed them down, and Lyra's precise guidance allowed Alex to operate the defenses with skill he did not know he possessed. One alien tried to enter through a maintenance hatch, but a sudden electric pulse from the modified panel stopped it in its tracks. Lyra whispered instructions, pointing and gesturing, and Alex followed without hesitation. Together, they outmaneuvered the intruders at every turn. Amid the chaos, Alex saw Lyra act in ways that seemed impossible. She leaped with agility, disabling equipment and using the environment to their advantage, yet she never attacked recklessly. Everything she did was calculated, protecting Alex as much as herself. The bond between them was clear. She had chosen him not as a leader, but as a partner. By dawn, the intruders retreated. Alex and Lyra watched from the viewport as the dark ships disappeared over the horizon. Exhausted but alive, they finally allowed themselves to breathe. "You were amazing," Alex said quietly. Lyra turned to him, eyes reflecting relief and something softer. Trust, perhaps even friendship. She whispered again, "Mine." Alex smiled. He had come to understand the meaning now. It was not possessive in a selfish way. It was a declaration of trust and choice. She had chosen him to stand by her, and he had chosen to protect her. That word had become a symbol of their bond. The following days were spent in recovery and learning. Lyra explored the station more freely, sometimes helping Alex with repairs, sometimes simply observing. She was fascinated by human tools, gestures, and habits, and Alex found himself explaining everything to her, from how to operate the hydroponic system to the purpose of the solar panels. They developed a way to communicate using gestures, symbols, and the tablet. Lyra could now indicate needs, emotions, and even simple plans. Alex marveled at how quickly she adapted. Despite her alien nature, she respected the logic and ingenuity of humans, and he, in turn, respected her intelligence and instincts. One evening, as Alex prepared a meal, Lyra touched his arm and pointed toward the viewport. Outside, the alien ships had returned, further away this time, circling the area. They were still searching. Alex's heart raced again, but he felt something new: confidence. With Lyra by his side, he knew they could face these challenges together. "I think they won't give up easily," Alex said. Lyra nodded, her eyes glowing softly. She whispered "mine" once more, and Alex understood. Not just a promise of protection, but a promise of partnership. That night, they stayed close. Lyra no longer hid entirely. She slept beside him, curled up quietly, her hand brushing his occasionally, not inappropriately, but as a gesture of trust. Alex kept one hand near her, ready to react, but mostly just watching over her. He realized that this bond, fragile yet strong, was something rare and beautiful. Days turned into a week. The intruders still lingered at the edge of sensors, but Alex and Lyra had established routines. Together they repaired, improved, and fortified the station. Alex discovered she had an almost intuitive understanding of alien technology. Her insights helped them stay one step ahead. Lyra, in turn, learned about human creativity, determination, and ingenuity. Through it all, the whispered word, "mine," remained a constant. Alex no longer questioned it. He understood its meaning now: trust, choice, and connection. Lyra had chosen him as a partner in survival and understanding, and he had chosen to honor that trust fully. By the end of the week, Alex knew one thing with certainty: humanity's strength was not just in technology or weapons. It was in the courage to act, to understand, and to trust, even with beings from the stars. And with Lyra at his side, that courage had found a new form: partnership, empathy, and shared determination against unknown threats. The galaxy beyond the station was vast and dangerous, but Alex no longer felt alone. Together, he and Lyra were ready for whatever came next, their bond stronger with each passing day. And somewhere deep in the station, the word "mine" hung in the air, no longer a mystery, but a symbol of trust, courage, and the first step toward something extraordinary. The following night brought a tense silence over the station. Alex and Lyra sat side by side near the viewport, watching distant lights flicker across the barren landscape. The alien ships had returned closer than before, their dark silhouettes moving like shadows against the rocky horizon. Every instinct in Alex's body screamed that they were not here to negotiate. They were here to capture Lyra. He glanced at her. She sat quietly, eyes glowing faintly in the dim light, but there was no fear. Instead, a calm intensity radiated from her. Lyra whispered the familiar word, "Mine," and Alex nodded. She was ready to face this, but not alone. He had promised to protect her, and he intended to keep that promise. The intruders landed near the base. Their ships were small, agile, and silent, almost like predators. Alex could see figures moving among the shadows. He hurried to the control room, Lyra following closely. Together, they activated the station's defensive systems. Turrets swiveled, barriers hummed, and sensors scanned every approach. "They won't give up easily," Alex muttered. Lyra pressed her hand to a panel, her fingers moving with precision. She adjusted the controls faster than he could, rerouting energy to strengthen the shields and reinforce the barriers. The first wave of intruders reached the outer perimeter. Alex triggered an electric pulse from the hidden turrets. The aliens froze, then retreated, surprised by the unexpected defenses. Lyra guided him through the controls, pointing at weak spots in their armor. Together they worked in seamless coordination, a human and an alien forming a team that neither side had anticipated. A second wave approached from a different direction. Alex realized that the intruders were skilled tacticians using diversion and strategy. But he had something they did not: human creativity. He improvised, setting traps with old equipment, using mirrors to mislead sensors, and even creating decoy signals to confuse them. Lyra adapted instantly, helping him improve every plan before the intruders could react. As the battle escalated, Alex witnessed Lyra's abilities firsthand. She leaped with remarkable speed, moving across the station to disable alien drones and manipulate technology. Her actions were calculated, precise, and protective. She never attacked recklessly. Every movement was designed to keep both of them safe. Alex realized something profound. The whispered word, "Mine," was more than trust. It was a declaration of mutual reliance. She had chosen him as a partner, not a leader, and he had chosen to act as her protector. Their bond gave them strength beyond what either could have alone. The aliens adapted quickly, breaking through a minor barrier. Alex's heart raced as one of them tried to enter the main chamber. He slammed a reinforced door shut just in time, and Lyra activated a containment field that temporarily immobilized the intruder. It was a tense moment, but it demonstrated the power of their combined skills. Hours passed, with the intruders attempting every tactic imaginable. Alex's traps slowed them. Lyra's agility disrupted their movements, and together, they turned the station into a fortress of clever defenses. Alex marveled at the alien's intelligence, recognizing that her abilities were extraordinary, but they were amplified by human ingenuity and strategy. At one point, an intruder breached the control room. Alex froze for a second, heart pounding. Lyra acted instantly, placing herself between him and the alien. She emitted a low hum, and the intruder staggered back, confused by some energy Alex could not understand. Then Lyra pointed at a control panel, signaling Alex to act. He quickly activated an emergency lockdown, trapping the alien outside. The battle continued into the night. Alex and Lyra moved with an almost instinctive understanding of each other's actions. He would flip switches, she would adjust the systems, he would plan a trap, and she would enhance it. Their coordination felt like a dance, dangerous, precise, and perfectly synchronized. By dawn, the intruders had retreated. Alex and Lyra were exhausted but alive. The station had suffered minor damage, but it had held. Alex looked at Lyra, who was catching her breath beside him. She whispered again, "Mine." Alex smiled wearily. He understood the meaning completely now. It was not a possessive demand. It was a pledge of trust, a bond forged in danger and survival. She had chosen him to stand by her, and he had chosen to honor that choice. Over the next few hours, Alex repaired critical systems while Lyra monitored external sensors. She pointed out weak spots, adjusted energy flows, and even helped him reprogram the turrets for better efficiency. Her understanding of technology was incredible, but Alex realized that it was not just knowledge. It was intuition, combined with trust in him as her partner. They began to communicate more clearly. Lyra used gestures and symbols on the tablet to indicate threats, strategies, and even her thoughts. Alex responded with words, drawings, and simple commands. Their teamwork became seamless. Every action they took reinforced their bond. When a supply ship from a nearby colony arrived, Alex welcomed them cautiously. Lyra stayed hidden at first, observing, then emerged to interact. The humans were surprised by her presence and intelligence, but Alex explained calmly. He emphasized her role as a partner, not just a visitor, and the colony representatives quickly realized that Lyra was no ordinary being. Alex and Lyra spent the following days reinforcing the station and preparing for possible future threats. They shared knowledge. Alex taught her about human culture, creativity, and problem-solving, while Lyra revealed advanced techniques for understanding alien technology and strategy. Together, they formed a team that was more than the sum of its parts. One evening, as they watched the sunset from the observation deck, Alex reflected on how much had changed. He had arrived at the station expecting solitude, routine, and quiet work. Instead, he had found a partner, a friend, and a bond that challenged everything he knew about trust, courage, and survival. Lyra whispered once more, "Mine." This time, Alex did not hesitate. "Yours too," he said softly. It was a simple reply, but it carried the weight of their shared experiences, dangers faced, and victories won. Their trust was mutual, their partnership solid. The galaxy beyond the station was still vast, mysterious, and dangerous. The intruders might return and other threats could appear, but Alex felt ready. Humanity's strength was not just in technology or numbers. It was in courage, intelligence, empathy, and the ability to form bonds that no enemy could easily break. Together, Alex and Lyra represented that strength. The whispered word "mine" was no longer just a sound. It was a symbol of choice, trust, and the extraordinary power of partnership between human and alien. As night fell over the rocky plains, Alex checked the sensors one last time. All was quiet. Lyra sat beside him, her hand brushing against his occasionally, a small gesture of trust and connection. They had survived the intruders, learned to work together, and forged a bond that neither could ignore. The adventure was far from over. The galaxy was still full of unknown dangers, mysteries, and challenges. But for the first time, Alex felt that he and Lyra could face anything together. The bond they shared was strong, built in fire, trust, and courage. And as the stars twinkled above the distant horizon, Alex knew one truth clearly. This was just the beginning. Humanity had shown its courage, and together with Lyra they would face the future, whatever it might hold, with intelligence, ingenuity, and unwavering trust. The days following the confrontation passed in a mix of preparation and reflection. Alex and Lyra worked tirelessly to repair the station's minor damage, strengthen its defenses, and ensure they were ready for any new threats. The distant alien ships had not returned, but their presence lingered like a shadow, a reminder that danger could strike at any moment. Despite the tension, Alex felt a growing sense of peace. Lyra had begun to move freely around the station, exploring every corner, observing the systems, and even helping with repairs. Her intelligence and curiosity amazed him. She understood technology in ways he could not have imagined, often suggesting improvements he had never considered, and yet she never acted without his knowledge. Her trust in him was clear. One morning, Alex decided to take a break from the repairs. He prepared a small meal and invited Lyra to join him in the observation deck. Outside, the planet's rocky plains stretched endlessly, bathed in the soft light of twin suns. Lyra sat quietly watching the horizon. Her eyes, which had once been full of fear and uncertainty, now glowed with calm confidence. "You've adapted well," Alex said gently. "I'm proud of you, proud of us." She turned to him, eyes wide and glowing faintly. Then she whispered that word again. "Mine." Alex smiled. The meaning had changed now. It was no longer about danger or survival. It was a symbol of partnership, trust, and shared experiences. He reached out, touching her hand lightly. "And I'm yours," he said. Her eyes softened, reflecting the same understanding and connection he felt. The following days brought more discovery. Lyra revealed fragments of her past. She had been a scout for a distant civilization, fleeing from a powerful enemy that sought to capture her knowledge. Her species valued intelligence and trust above all else. and she had chosen Alex because he demonstrated courage, quick thinking, and empathy, qualities rare even among her own kind. Alex listened carefully, fascinated. He realized that humanity, in its simplicity and adaptability, had earned Lyra's respect. They had faced danger together, made decisions under pressure, and protected each other when no one else could. It was not strength alone that mattered. It was intelligence, courage, and the ability to form trust. As they worked together, Lyra began helping Alex optimize the station further. She adjusted the energy systems, improved communications, and even suggested ways to camouflage the station from distant sensors. Alex marveled at her knowledge, but he also noticed that she constantly deferred to his decisions, respecting his understanding of human technology. Together, they were unstoppable. One afternoon, a small communication signal arrived from a nearby human colony. Alex answered, carefully explaining the situation without revealing sensitive details about Lyra. The colony sent supplies, equipment, and a small team to assist in fortifying the station. Lyra observed the humans with curiosity, learning quickly from their gestures, language, and problem-solving methods. She and Alex worked with the new team, demonstrating how advanced intelligence and human ingenuity could combine. The humans were amazed at her abilities, but more impressed by the seamless coordination between her and Alex. It was clear that trust and partnership had amplified both their skills. As evening approached, the alien threat finally became clearer. Scouts from the intruder ships appeared at the edge of the horizon, observing from a safe distance. Alex realized that they had not given up, but he felt no fear. Lyra was beside him, ready and willing to act. Together they had learned, adapted, and grown stronger. "We're ready," Alex said, nodding to Lyra. She whispered "mine" again, a reminder of trust and shared strength. They had survived before, and they would survive again. That night, Alex and Lyra spent time on the observation deck watching the stars. The galaxy stretched endlessly above them, full of unknown dangers and incredible possibilities. Lyra touched Alex's arm, a simple gesture of trust. Alex returned the gesture, knowing that this bond, formed in adversity, strengthened through cooperation, was unbreakable. Over the next few days, the intruders gradually retreated. Alex had sent encrypted signals warning them that the station was well defended, and that the human-alien team inside was not to be underestimated. The alien ships did not return, leaving the planet in relative peace. Alex and Lyra used the quiet time to improve life at the station. Lyra taught Alex advanced methods for energy management and system optimization, while Alex shared human creativity, problem-solving, and adaptability. Together they created a station that was stronger, more efficient, and more resilient than before. Their partnership became legendary within the nearby colonies. Humans spoke of the courage and intelligence Alex displayed, and the seamless cooperation with Lyra became a symbol of what humanity could achieve. Intelligence, creativity, courage, and trust had won the day. One morning, as Alex repaired a solar panel outside, Lyra approached quietly. She looked at him, then gestured toward the horizon. Alex followed her gaze and saw a lone scout ship from her civilization approaching. "They've come for you," Alex said gently. Lyra nodded, understanding, but she did not show fear. Instead, she whispered that word, "mine," and turned toward him, eyes filled with determination. Alex smiled. He understood completely. Lyra's choice was hers, but she had chosen to stay with him, to continue this partnership and face the galaxy together. The scout ship landed nearby, and an emissary stepped out. Lyra communicated with them quickly, explaining that she had found a partner, a human who matched her courage and intelligence. The emissary listened, impressed. They recognized the bond as extraordinary, rare even among their own species. The emissary nodded, offering supplies, support, and guidance for the future. Lyra turned back to Alex, eyes glowing softly. She whispered once more, "Mine." Alex reached out, taking her hand firmly. "And I am yours," he said. It was a simple reply, but it carried everything they had shared: the fear, the trust, the victories, and the bond that had grown stronger with each challenge. From that day forward, Alex and Lyra continued their work at the station. Together they explored, defended, and strengthened their home. They built connections with nearby colonies, and even shared knowledge that could benefit humanity. Lyra's abilities combined with Alex's ingenuity created innovations that no single species could achieve alone. The station became a beacon of cooperation, courage, and trust. Humans and aliens alike spoke of the partnership between Alex and Lyra as a symbol of what could be accomplished when intelligence, empathy, and courage joined forces. One quiet evening, as the twin suns set over the horizon, Alex and Lyra sat together on the observation deck. The planet below was calm, the stars above brilliant. Lyra whispered that familiar word, mine, one last time. Alex smiled. And I'm yours, he said, his voice calm but filled with meaning. The galaxy was vast, full of danger and mystery. But Alex and Lyra had proven that humanity's courage, ingenuity, and empathy could overcome even the most challenging threats. And together they would face whatever came next, with trust, partnership, and unwavering determination. In that moment, the universe felt a little smaller, a little safer. Two lives, human and alien, connected in trust and friendship, showed that even in the endless stars, courage and partnership could shine brighter than any threat. The adventure had begun with fear, but it ended with hope. And as Alex and Lyra looked out over the horizon, they knew that together they could face the universe, whatever it might hold.